Hello and welcome along to Season 10, Episode 2 of this Dorking Wanderers story with me, Daniel. Today we make our Championship debut against Fulham, a massive side in comparison to us, but one of the relegation rivals we're supposed to be competing with. This is going to be a very big test, and I hope you're looking forward to it as much as I am. Yes, that's right, today we make our Championship debut. It's against Fulham, who I'm going to start with actually, just so I can show you the disparity between the two clubs. You'll of course have seen in our transfer special a couple of days back just how frustrating and quiet our window was. If you have missed that, please do catch up in the eye above. I'll put the link there for you just so you can see what we're going to be competing against today. So compare that to what I'm about to show you from Fulham. I haven't looked yet, so I'm intrigued. I'm just going to assume, so I might well be underwhelmed here. So we'll look at our opponents in detail before we make our debut at Championship level. 10 years in waiting, and here it is. We're the last team to play because of our ground share. We had to get moved to Sunday, and of course we're on television now as well, so this is going to be a massive test. But very quickly before we go and have a look at that, a massive thank you to everyone who continues to support the series. If you are looking forward to our Championship debut today, please do put a thumbs up on the video. I'm going to need all the support I can get because this is going to be a difficult day for us. I can't imagine things going well, but hopefully my pessimism will be turned round. Also, just a quick massive thank you to everyone who came and joined along for our first live stream yesterday. Apologies for any technical glitches that were there. Obviously, it was the first attempt. It's something I'd love to do a bit more of in the future, just to get more interactive with you guys, have a couple of hours where we can hang out. And I'm aware during this lockdown that isolation can be difficult, so just want to try and give a little bit of light relief and entertainment. But thank you for those who did come along. If you did miss it, it was the transfer special from our other series, The Head Coach. Also a job search in the summer as well, so it was a bit of a double header in that sense, but do go along and check it out. The full stream replay is available to view, so you can go back and catch up with that one. Again, I'll put a link to it in the eye above. And finally, a thank you to those of you that tried our new series yesterday evening. Myself and a friend talking about the football grounds we visited, trying to fill a void for ourselves, to be honest. We were trying to do the 92. Of course, that's been hampered by the recent lockdown. So myself and him just replacing our conversations we would have on the trains normally on a Saturday, on the way to the game, talking about all the places we've been. So we did it on camera instead. So the first episode of that was out yesterday. Again, you can catch up with the eye above. Thank you to everyone who's got involved and watched that one as well. I hope to produce more content just to give you some light relief where possible, and I hope you continue to enjoy it. To make sure you don't miss any of the future episodes, please do subscribe and put that notification bell on to get updates every day as our content releases. A big thank you for your continued support of the channel. It is greatly appreciated, and I'm sure this season's going to be a very difficult one. So I suppose I better head into it. Let's go and look at the Fulham team. I've been trying to put this off, to be honest, but let's look at them. So you can see why I said they're relegation threatened. Bar 2 years ago, they've been near the bottom pretty much every year. So if we go back 6 or 7 seasons, we got 18th, 18th, 17th, 18th, then 13th and 5th, a very good season, but last season 21st, narrowly surviving from Luton Town, just a couple of points above. But let's go and have a look at their players and their transfer window, just to compare what it's like. So in terms of players, they've got players worth £14 million. They've got Bobby Duncan, a hero from our FM19 series with Torquay. Are there any other players we recognise in there? Ethan Vaughan, that's not the same one, is it? No, it's the other one. So Ethan Vaughan, they've got loads of very good players. To be honest, they're not quite as strong as we expected, but the one I want to compare is the wages. So their top players, they're all earning about 30, 25, 20 grand a week. Our top player is Alan Torloff on 7, and everyone else is under 5 grand. So they've only got about 3 players in their squad under that. 4 players, sorry, in total. And that includes their backup keeper and a sub midfielder. So that sort of tells you what we're competing with here. This is one of our relegation rivals, apparently. So transfer history, let's see what we're comparing with. They've not spent huge money, and they've sold one big one, but they're still paying nearly £1 million for players. Something we just can't do. So it's definitely a difficult test. It's not going to be the easiest in the world, but we better go and head into it. I'll show you the tactic we've made. Of course you're aware of the transfers from the special. If not, you're going to get some spoilers now, I'm afraid. And the big news is Alan Torloff joined the club, and now he's doubtful with a pulled hamstring. I'm not taking any risks because we need his magic this year, and we cannot afford to risk that injury getting worse. So we'll play the game against Fulham, then we'll get him back in the squad for the Preston one. But let's go and have a look at the key stats first. So where are we expected to finish this season? I would love to know because I think it's going to be bottom. Season preview. We are... Oh, that's interesting. So a few weeks back, we were the favourites to go down 1,000 to 1. And now after our signings, we're 175 to 1. And we're not in the bottom 3 there. So maybe I'm undervaluing our squad. Let me have a look at what signings have been made since then. So the season preview that I saw was before Tordoff, James, Carroll and Lavelle. So I guess Tordoff and James could make a big difference. But that seems really bizarre. We're talking about Preston, who we've got second up, Sheffield Wednesday and Ipswich, who are massive clubs in comparison to us. I guess we beat Ipswich to the title, but then Pompey went up in the playoffs and they're expected to finish 20th. So a really bizarre one that. We're in the same league as Nottingham Forest, who for the first 5 years were the ultimate entertainers of this series. Make sure you go back and check the end of season reviews if you've missed that. But either way, I mean, that's really strange to me. Of course, with a week and a half of the transfer window to go, I presume there'll be some others signed. And I've just noticed something in the top right here. Again, a former channel hero, but also a world-class youngster in real life. Mason Greenwood, worth £60 million on 83 grand a week, world-class finisher, is playing for Crystal Palace in a championship. How on earth are we competing with this? Oh, jeez. Well, that's what we're up against, so let's see what happens. Let's go and get into the first game. The dynamics are looking okay. Team cohesion's good. We've not had too many changes. The dressing room atmosphere and manager support both still strong. But let's go and look at our lineup for today. The tactic will confirm it's not changed too much, but we've got a sellout here. You'd expect so with a 5,000 capacity. Probably the away fans to fill it if they need to. Fulham very slight favourites. We have got pretty much the same 11 as last year. So the goalkeeper's the same, just the right back that's changed today actually. In fact, he's the only one. There's no other debutants at all. So the other ones, Lavelle's on the bench, Bentley's on the bench, Carroll and Burns as well. It's a very limited squad. I've got to be honest. I've sort of made an executive decision. If we do go out the Carabao Cup early, which there's every chance because we're playing Cardiff, who are another big championship side, there is every chance we could go out of the first round attempt. At that case, I'm going to go for a smaller squad this year. So the fourth choice centre-half, Joe Wilson, will go out on loan to get football. We'll keep someone like Manny Cook around just as a backup and emergency if needed. But I'm going to try and work with a sort of 20-man squad there. We've got one more loan space I'd really like to fill. And then otherwise, I think we're just going to go from there. There's not too much to say. We've got a very average, solid squad across the board. No real standouts, bar perhaps John Webb and Tordoff when he's back. Otherwise, we're just relying on consistency. So I've opted where possible to try and bed the new signings in gradually. That means Parsons plays ahead of Lavelle today. It means Everett plays ahead of Carroll. And the new centre midfielders are sitting on the bench as well. But our line-up in full is Robinson in goal. James and Thomas the fullbacks with Walker and Parsons at centre-half. We've got Smith and Moles in the middle. Lindsay coming in on the right wing. So I could have gone Maguire as an out-and-out winger. But Lindsay's a top-quality player. So let's give him the gamble there. Extra bit of striking prowess. We've got McLaughlin in the number 10. We need him to shine this year. Not his favoured role, but we're getting working on that in training. And then Everett over on the left wing. Still a little bit of interest sniffing around him. He won't sign a new deal, so we've got to try and take advantage of it. And then John Webb on his own up front. The man who has to fire us to safety. A brilliant finisher, a brilliant striker. Working hard, still improving. At 20 years of age, we need him more than ever. 30 league goals last year. And as we said when we were talking about Tordoff in the last episode, if he can even do half of that, 15 league goals from him, 10 from Tordoff, we'll have a chance. We'll have a little chance. Not much, but a little chance. Then we just need Lindsay to pop in with 5 or 10 as well. But there's only one way to find out, really. We're going to keep on the ball. We're going to keep positive. I might drop that to balance very quickly. But let's get into the first game of the season against Fulham and see if we can cause the almighty shock and get off to a flyer in the second tier. We've got some squad numbers to hand out. I don't really care, so let's do them automatically. We don't like number 13 for an outfield player, though. Can Lomas not get a first 11 number? I suppose number 3 for a right back doesn't make sense, but we're not going to sign another left back, so let's do it. It's only one season. Apologies, smacking the keyboard again, but into the game we go. Carroll doesn't need that big a number either, so we'll move him up. It can be number 11. He's going to be a left winger. It seems very strange, the choices they're making. But into the first game, let me know in the comments what you think we'll do. Can we get a result against Fulham? Can we survive as the media seem to expect now? Or will we go down as the board anticipate? Both times matching up with 4-2-3-1s. Some really good players in that Fulham team. Bobby Duncan, as we mentioned, from FM19 on the bench, got more fame in real life for being with Berahino's agent. But either way, let's just get into it. There's no point putting it off. We'll encourage the lads, get into the first half. A few motivated, but will that translate to performances? Let's go in and find out. Well, there we go. The first incident of the match is our new lone right back getting a yellow card. And Fulham are back as they go long. Here's Thomas to Smith. Seems a little bit zoomed in. It's a weird angle today. But here's Matthew Smith in a holding role. Back to Jack Walker, the centre half. Direct forward. Webb flicks on. No one in support of him. That's where McLaughlin needs to learn. That off-the-ball movement. Get up in behind, as we were last year with Holcroft. But in midfield is Fulham coming forward. They're playing it round us now. Here's Fleet out to the left. Hards is there. The fullback's in disarray. He can't make the challenge. He's already booked. Back to Buchanan, the left back. Into the back post. Thomas heads away, but only as far as Vaughan. Into the back post again. Hards just off the crossbar. Luke Thomas volleys it away for a throw-in. Well, we're back with a throw on the right. The book James takes it to Lindsay. Here we go down the right. Brendan Lindsay finds Moles. Lindsay's running off him, but he didn't pick the right pass. Had to take the gamble there. McLaughlin finds Everett, though. We're still going. Luke Thomas overlapping. He's got one off him, but he's going alone. To the back post is a penalty. What happened with the highlight? I don't know. But we've got a penalty, and it's Stefan Moles, the captain. Stefan Moles scores! 20 minutes gone. We lead in our championship debut. And he's ever the reliable Stefan Moles. I spent most of the summer trying to replace him. I'm not going to hide it. We spoke about Josh Cullen last time out. But Stefan Moles is the man again. And we lead 1-0 with 25 gone. But Fulham have a corner into the front post. Just over the bar. It nearly didn't last very long, but Fulham yet to have a shot on target. Admittedly, our only one was the penalty, but they've had one now as well off camera. But with 10 to the break, we'll take this all day long. Here's Ollie Robinson with a goal kick. Long ball forward. He's going towards Webb. No one there, and it's easy for Fulham. They're just playing out from the back now. Here's Vaughan to the right wing. Matondo. Back to the centre-half Blackwood. Long ball forward. Well done, Jack Walker. Doesn't do enough, though, and it's on Matoyi in. This'll be it, will it? It is. Keeper beaten at his near post. Got to cover that angle. He took him wide. He did everything right. But then he just got caught, and he got it beaten at the near post. You can't do that at this level. We said we didn't know if he was a League One or Championship keeper, and I think we might have just gotten our answer, to be honest. I'm going to drop to balance because we're getting outplayed now, and at half-time it is level. To be honest, it's a decent result, we'll take it, but against relegation rivals we need to do better than that. And the full house, it's happy, it's celebrating being in the Championship, but look at that stand there. Look at that on the left-hand side. It's completely empty. How can I say it's a sellout? But either way, we're going to encourage the lads again. They're doing their best. They're scrapping. They're fighting hard. And that's all we can ask of them this season. Let's hope they respond in the seconds. Free kick to Fulham on the left-hand side. Delivered to the back post. Oh, not again. Robinson's dropped it through his hands. I mean, we've learned we need a goalkeeper. Robinson has made 2 howlers in a game where we've not really had any other threat to our goal. Oh, how does that happen? Let's go and have a look at him. Ollie Robinson, he's good enough. He's solid, he's professional, his aerial reach is good, his reflexes are good. But not today. Not today, I'm afraid. I don't know if it's just nerves, but Ollie Robinson has cost us this game. It was a big occasion and we had the lead, we were solid, we looked comfortable. And it's just all gone, just because of Ollie Robinson. 2 individual errors from the keeper. So at right back, we're struggling with the yellow card, but we've got no replacement. Peter McLaughlin has not adapted to Championship level well. So let's just make some subs in attacking areas. Everett replaced by Carroll. Burns coming on for McLaughlin. I don't know what Burns likes to do. He wants to be an attacking midfielder. Not on attack, but he's going to have to be today. In central midfield, Moles has been really poor despite his goal. So can Adrian Bentley make a debut? Let's just get them all on. Get those debuts out the way, and then hopefully they'll adapt quickly. But I can't believe it, to be honest. Ollie Robinson's cost us the game. There's nothing I can say that can legislate for it. He's dropped one through his hands and he's been beaten at his near post. And it's the only reason we have not got something out of our first Championship match. Loads of yellow cards flying in at the end. There's nothing happening. We'll go attacking, but it's too little too late. 4 minutes of stoppage time and it's not coming. Fulham win 2-1. It starts as I expected it to. Despite the early optimism, the early hope, it grabs you. It just grabs you and then it takes it away. But I can tell you for certain now what I'll be doing for the next few weeks. I will be going and looking desperately for a goalkeeper. The one final loan signing maybe it's where the budget goes. But we have to get someone who doesn't do that every game. We cannot afford to lose games like that, particularly with the types of errors. But either way, the lads have fought hard. They've given their best. We're going to say we're disappointed just because Nick Haycock's never wrong. The lads are fired up. You can't argue with it. But that is such a disappointing way to finish it. Considering we were in the lead. Considering it all looked so good. I see what the media said. Disappointing claps. And it's all down to one man. I can't argue with it. It's a mistake to score a close range volley, and he didn't even get criticised for the one he got beat at his near post. The good news is nearly all the lads have made their debuts, just Lavelle to go. He's not quite match fit yet. We'll deal with a press conference off camera. I'm just going to go and finish on the scout reports actually. Are there any goalkeepers that are already there? So let's go to people that we can get on transfer or loan. There was one that was linked with us, and we rejected the deal because they wanted about 18 grand a week. But it might be needs must at this point. Let's go and look for goalkeepers. It was Paul Darby. This was the man. So he's at Bournemouth. Not got the best for reflexes or handling. Doesn't look the best keeper, actually. But he's played for Bournemouth. He's played at the higher levels. 14 Premier League games. Awful rating. We'll gloss over that. But I'm going to go and get a full scout report on him. He may be the man. He may be the answer. We've got this Andy Kelly on trial. He's not good enough. Let's get rid of that idea. And then Theon Markman. £2.5 million. He's no better. I can't legislate for that. It's always been the hardest thing to get a goalkeeper. I'm sure I remember we had to go big with Torquay to get a keeper. In the head coach, we've often struggled. It's been a position we've not had the best options in. Lots of goalkeepers, not much quality. We're going to have to do a lot of work on this. I'll tell you what we will do. Let's go to the transfers. Should we ask our director of football? Anyone we can loan in goal? I bet he'll suggest Derby. He doesn't. He's got Daniel Bentley on there. He's an experienced keeper. Probably past his prime, that's the problem there. John Gregory, a youngster at Middlesbrough, never played a professional game. Tom Cheeseman at QPR. If he's not making it there, why would he make it here? QPR are League One now, I think, are they? Did they go down? Where are they? Players? No, they're in the Championship. So that's going to be a bit of a problem before the next episode. I may be overreacting. You can let me know down in the comments, but I'm a little bit concerned. There's another QPR keeper come up as a transfer option. A Brazilian on 8 grand a week. Looks a bit better, I can't lie, but I'm not sure we'll be able to get him in. Then Thomas Svensson from Udinese, 21-year-old Swede. Again, doesn't look great, but we'll get them all scouted. And then Luca Ashby-Hammond from Barnsley, 27 years of age. His reflexes at 8. I mean, that's ridiculous. He's played loads for Fulham and Barnsley, but no, not a chance. So the top 5 we're going to go and get scout reports for. We are going to work desperately to get a goalkeeper in before the next episode, and hopefully we'll be a little bit better as a result. But bitter disappointment to end this one. If you did enjoy seeing my dreams crush, please do put a thumbs up on the video. We'll be back around a month's time, probably for a big game, one that we can win. So we've got the 2 promoted sides at home in September. They're ones that are must-win clashes. Norwich just before it, Brighton and West Brom just after. So we'll come back sometime in September. But thank you for coming along and watching. I really do appreciate your support as always. Let me know in the comments what you think we're going to do this season. It's going to be a long hard battle, I can promise that for sure. Staying up, not really paramount at this point. The facilities improvements, the coaching improvements, all of those things have happened from 1 year in the Championship. So we've got to put a little bit of perspective on these things. Am I overreacting with the goalkeeper? Potentially, but that's 2 really bad individual errors by my book. And it's cost us a point in our first game. Possibly 3 even. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel for daily FM20 content from our long-term stories. Tomorrow we'll be back with the first game of the season from the head coach. Are we at a new club? Have we had a big transfer special with Salford preparing for the Championship? We obviously found out in our live stream yesterday, and we'll have our first game of the season tomorrow. As I mentioned, on Sundays now we'll have our stadium review, doing the 92. So please do come and get involved in that, particularly if you've visited the grounds or support the club we're talking about. And again, thank you to everyone who came along and tried our first live stream. You can catch up in the eye above if you missed it. Finally, as I mentioned earlier, I'm part of a podcast that does matchday vlogs and interviews. We started our FM network career last night on there, so something else for Football Manager fans too. Head to head and a bit more of a relaxed, laid back feel with mates. So please do come along and try that too. And there's also a few interviews with former and current professional footballers coming up, so I hope you enjoy those as much as I did. But a big thanks for coming along for the start of a new season, despite the disappointment unfortunately it ended in. We've got a busy week to go in the transfer window now, as we bid for survival with Dorking Wanderers.